Alright, 7th graders. Today we're talking about changing between fractions, decimals, and percents, which is another day of review. So, changing from fractions to decimals. Let's say we have 3/4 as our fraction, and we want to change it to a decimal. We just divide. So, the top dog goes in the doghouse. 4 goes into 3 0 times. So I add my decimal point, add a 0. 4 goes into 37 times. And 4 goes into 25 times. So 3/4 is 0.75. Changing decimals to fractions. If I have 0.75 and I want to change that to a fraction, I just need to know that I write the number over its place value. So, for example, we have 75 as our number, and this is 75 hundredths, so that would be 100, and we have 75 over 100. It can be reduced, but just initially, to get a decimal to a fraction, we write our number over its place value. If I had 0.6, the number is 6. It's in the tenths place, so I write a 10. If I had, let's see, 3 hundredths, the number is 3. It's in the hundredths place, so I put it over 100. I have 2.816. I have 2 wholes, and I'm going to keep those. Then I have 816 thousandths, so I have 816 over 1,000 on that one. Alright, moving on. Changing decimals to percents. So, changing a decimal to a percent is fairly simple. I'm going to move the decimal right 2 places. So if, for example, I continue to use 0.75, if I move my decimal right 2 places, I would have 75%. The reason that I move the decimal right 2 places is because I'm multiplying by 100. And if I multiply by 100, I would get zeros. So I'd get 7500, but I have 2 decimal places here, so I have 2 decimal places here and I get 75. So the reason that we move the decimal 2 places to the right is because percents are always out of 100. I'm multiplying by 100 to get my percentage. Alright, changing percents to decimals then is going to be the opposite. So I move the decimal to the left 2 places. So for example, if I had 53%, my decimal is after my number, so my decimal would be 0.53. Or if I had, let's say 2.7%, I would still move 2 places to the left and get 0.027 as my decimal. So wherever the decimal is, if we have to add zeros, that's okay. Alright, changing fractions to percents. Changing a fraction to a percent is a little bit more of a difficult process because I'm doing the 2 steps that I've already done. So I have to divide my fraction divide, then move the decimal right 2 places. So to change a fraction to a percent, I change it to a decimal and then move the decimal right 2 places. So I follow the rules of 1 and 3 to get from a fraction to a percent. Or my other option is to change the denominator to 100. So if it's a denominator of your fraction is easy to make into 100, then the top number is going to be your percentage, because the percent is always out of 100. So if we make the denominator 100, we can find our percent quite easily. And changing percents to fractions, not super complicated either. All we have to do is put the percent over 100 and simplify it. Because once again, a percent is always out of 100. Because of this keyword cent here, a cent is a century, is 100 years, a centipede has 100 legs, and so on and so forth. Alright, take a look at this bottom section of your paper. Express each ratio as a percent. So, 17/18. When I divide it out, I end up with a repeating decimal. 18 will go into 179 times. I end up with 0.94 repeating. The 4 keeps going. So to write that as a percent correctly, pay close attention. I know I have to move 2 places, but my answer is not just 94%, because that 4 is repeating. So that 4 keeps going. Even if my decimal is here, there's still a million more 4s following. So I'm going to put my decimal here and put 94.4 repeating with the repeating symbol above the 4%. That is the most accurate way to write this percentage. 25.9 out of 50ths. Is this easy to write as a denominator of 100? Of course it is. We can multiply by 2, If I multiply 25.9 by 2, I get 51.8 out of 100, which is just 51.8%. On number 3, if I divide this out, I end up with 3 here. And that's going to keep going. So I have a 3 repeating situation. So if I move my decimal 2 times, I get 33. And then since it's repeating, I'm going to have 0.3. Go ahead and turn your paper over. Find the percent of each grid that is shaded. Well, each grid, the first 2 grids have 100 blocks. And the second grid or the third one, number 6, has 50 blocks. So, see if you can rate the percent of each grid that is shaded. On 7 through 9, express each amount of money as a percent of $1. 5 nickels would be 5 coins that are worth 5 cents each. So that'd be 25 cents. And how many cents are in $1? 100. So that's 25 out of 100, which would just be 25%. So go ahead and try 8 and 9. And then we have a few more problems. Write each percent as a decimal. So to write a percent as a decimal, all we have to do is move 2 places to the left. So I get 0.639. You can try the other 2. On 13, we're writing the percent as a fraction in lowest terms, so that'd be 52 hundredths, which can be reduced if we divide by 2, we would get 26 fiftieths, and if we divide by 2 again, 13 25ths, and I don't believe we can divide any more than that. Write each decimal as a percent. This time we're moving 2 places to the right, so this would be 80.6%. Write each fraction as a percent. Well, that's going to be 2.5, we know is 0.5. So here we have kind of a simple one. We can move 2 places and get 250%. Because anytime I have a placeholder, I need to fill it with a 0. And last, on 22 through 24, change the following to percents and compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. You don't have to change them to percents. I would cross multiply. 10 times 7 is 70. 12 times 6 is 72. So I know that this side is bigger, so I'm going to have less than symbol. Okay, go ahead and finish those problems for homework, and we will practice this some more tomorrow. Have a great night.